Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Untitled Anime Show, where this week we're going to review Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And Saydar's here to tell us all about it.
Well, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid was based on a manga which was serialized in, can you guess?
Shonen Jump.
No, it wasn't. It was Futabasha's monthly action magazine. I know, I was as surprised as you were.
She pulled a fast one on us, Doug. She pulled a fast one.
You tricked me.
I sure did. I've been planning on that one as soon as the opportunity arose. It premiered in 2013, and it also started two spin-off mangas which were serialized in the same magazine. The anime ran in 2017 and was supplemented by an OVA. It was one season only. The premise is office worker Kobayashi, in preparing for work, is greeted by a dragon by her window one morning when she realizes that she had the previous weekend gotten drunk, stumbled into the forest, and invited an injured dragon to live with her. And Toru decided to take her up on the offer. If you're interested in the anime, you can stream it on Crunchyroll or Funimation.
I love the premise that she just gets blitzed after work, stumbles into the woods, and
says, "Hey, dragon, you should totally live with me in the city."
Well, at the time, the dragon's kind of sitting there, and she's like, "Hey, dragon!" So this was not a serious anime at all. This is pretty much just a fun anime. There's not any one genre here other than just comedy. But it was humorous, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. Duck, what was your impression of it when I first told you, hey, we're going to watch Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid?
You sent me like a little clip. I think it might have been the theme song. And I was like, okay, so I don't know what this is about. It's just people. The people that hang out all the time? That's it's like...
The OP for Miss Kobayashi's is ridiculously stupid. It is honestly just people floating, and it has nothing to do with the show whatsoever. Except if you do realize that all the people eventually do appear in the show, even if it's just a minor
I did notice
that they are in the show at some point. But it's still hilarious, the fact that it's like,
what is going on?
What stoner trip am I taking right now? So we do our ratings as we do every week with the scores of 1 through 5, and this week we came up with the following. On originality, Duck, you gave this a 3.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to rate for originality because like none of the names are original, but I mean most anime name have origins for names, so I didn't think it was fair to knock for that. And then I thought it was a really, really original concept for dragons. As you go on, though, you find out that we're just not seeing the dragons that act like dragons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dragons are banned from our world by the Dragon King because they interfere too much. But there's some here anyway.
Right. So while the cast of characters we see is very original, it seems like there's a lot of original dragons, you know what I mean? Dragons that act normal in the other world. And then traditional
dragon-like.
And then like the whole concept of dragons turning into humanoids and living amongst people, that's, also not a very original concept.
No, it's very actually the concept of a dragonoid is not very uncommon in anime whatsoever. It's just in this concept, this iteration of it, we have one who is fallen in love with a human and is satisfied to be her personal maid just so she can be close to her. So, Saydar, you gave the originality of 4.
I did. This really is hard to describe as an anime, at least for me, and it's not a kind that I've ever encountered before. Again, not that I know how to describe it, but there were so many little elements that I thought were unique that it really deserved a higher rating from me on this. There's dragonoids, and I thought being a servant in just a traditional, like, working person's home was original. I thought the fallen demigod and the other dragons who decided to just show up because, and the world building here for me was where the originality laid.
Yeah, it's not an overly long series. Does anybody remember the episode count on there? It was around 12.
13.
13 episodes minus the OVA. It wasn't long, but in that period of time, you did get the background of every single character. Not like their whole life story, but you don't need it. But you got the background on all of them, and they did a great job in bringing those characters and to actually care about them in the 13 episodes that you had. So I thought it was very well done. I did give this a 4 as well with Saydar, and I thought it was pretty original. Yes, in anime they typically use character names from something. In show A, they might be all biblical names. In show B, they might be all Norse mythology names. In show C, it might be 4 different variations on the word Satan. One character's named Satan, one character's named Lucifer, one character's named Beelzebub. It happens. They just don't get Christianity right. But overall, I gave this a 4. I really enjoyed it. And when we move on to story, all 3 of us gave this a 3. So let's start with Saydar. Why'd you give it a 3?
I thought it was a fun story. It wasn't particularly life-changing or anything like that. Although one positive that I really have to give this anime is they featured a fair amount of homosexuality without having it be for laughs. I mean, it was a very funny show, but I appreciated that they they not only featured it, but they treated it as natural and normal. So I thought that was a plus.
Yeah, at no point did they ever make the focus of it. It wasn't weird that they were both girls and that Toru, the main character, the main dragon, is in love with Miss Kobayashi. It was the fact that she's a dragon. They never mentioned anything about them being women. Even at one point, in the OVA, you get introduced to the parents, and it never comes up. It just never does. So they kind of championed LGBT sexuality, but they didn't actually beat you over the head with it, which is something that Western media has a real hard time doing, because they have to say, "Hey, look what we're doing," whereas in this particular anime, they're like, it's just a facet of the story. It's not something we're trying to make a stance on.
And it's
present in the story, but it's not a plot point.
Exactly.
And that's good writing.
That's
good
right.
writing.
Very good writing. So, Duck, you also gave it a 3.
Yeah, I gave it a 3 because most of the story is not cohesive. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of little stories.
Scattered. Right, it's tiny little stories. You don't have to watch the last episode to watch the next episode.
Yeah, it's just a
it's
comedy.
Still like you said, in 13 episodes, I caught the feels. At some points, there's points where I'm like, oh, that was beautiful. And I went into this one with pretty low expectations, and I was, kind of surprised. But, just because it wasn't like, an all connected story, and that's just why I took a couple points off.
So one of the things that usually happens when we assign the animes we're going to watch is Duck's girlfriend is there for the beginning, and then almost immediately she insists that her chair be taken out of the room because she won't watch it because of usually sexual content. Did she watch Miss Kobayashi with you?
I actually watched Miss Kobayashi before work every day.
So you didn't get the upper.
5 a.m.
We didn't get the girlfriend test.
No.
That's a shame. So moving on to artwork, Duck, you gave this a 2.
Yeah. I thought I was getting over the whole teeth thing, and this one brought me right back. There's a lot of bad teeth in this one.
Oh my God, we're back to the damn teeth again.
That and I don't know if you noticed, but a couple times they would have the character superimposed over just a watercolor image of the room.
I think that was just something stylistic. I don't think
it wasn't colored all the way in. And if you want to do that, then do it more. You know what I mean? It didn't make sense in the 2 or 3 scenes throughout the whole series that they did that. So that bugged me. And then I think all of them, all the characters are moving over a still image. Does that make sense? They drew the room and then let the characters move after the fact individually through the room.
Yeah, I can't.
So it's a weird outline thing where the characters stick out in front of the images. like that was just always in my head while I was watching it.
Yeah, it's kind of a way that Disney used to do some things. Was they would have the still background and then have the cells move over top of the background.
Right. Yeah.
And then they eventually started to make it so they made the larger background images. They can move the background images along and do a different perspective point on there. It's not something you see that much in anime. So yeah, there's certain things on there I can definitely agree with you that they are kind of jarring to see because you're not used to seeing them in that way, in that art style. So, Saydar, you gave this a 3.
Yeah, my rating's pretty transparent. I would say that for me, a lot of an anime is just the way the characters are drawn. And I thought that the characters in this anime were nice, but they weren't like, wow, this is art. It was just, they don't suck. I mean, that's all I can really offer.
At least it was colorful.
Yeah,
at least it was colorful. I gave it a 4 just because I really enjoyed the art style over there. I enjoyed the way that the characters were drawn. Nothing was crazy, except for one character.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing was crazy, except for one character, which was that way on purpose. And we are going to get to that specifically, but I'm not going to address that right now. I just really enjoyed the art style, and the one thing that's different from Miss Kobayashi that you don't notice in a lot of anime is there's limited sets. Almost the entire show takes place in a Japanese apartment, which is 3 rooms, and they do it. It doesn't get boring, so I think they did a really good job in that. So depth-wise, Saydar, you gave it a 2.
I did. I was pretty hard on this because, again, I thought it was really fun. It was really a good, brainless anime to just kick back and enjoy and not have to think a whole lot. But I just didn't see... In 13 episodes, I think it's hard to expect a whole lot of depth, and I didn't really find a whole lot of depth here.
Right. See, I also gave it a 2, and from what you both are saying, it's not a overarching story. Yes, there is the story of Toru the dragon living with Miss Kobayashi and all of her wacky and zany friends stopping in to show up every once in a while, as well as another dragon moving in. But other than that core element of the story, there's no arching story arc. There is just simply, here's an episode, you know the background of these characters, enjoy. So there really wasn't, they weren't trying to go deep. So I'm not gonna think, oh, they should have been one cohesive story. No, it was fun. It was supposed to be here. Enjoy this one episode and move on. Enjoy the rest of your day. So for bingeability,
Duck.
Oh, did I miss Duck on depth?
I didn't see depth yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ducky. So you gave it a 3 on depth. You scored it better than you did.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what both of you are saying. The biggest thing that I took points off for, though, is we didn't see the other characters turn into dragons. Like, they teased it in the theme song, where we see them turn into dragons. Like, there's like 5 main dragons, technically, right? We see all of them transform into dragons in the theme song, but very, like, cartoony style. And it's like, okay, I want to see them. Yeah, exactly. I want to see Fafnir turn into his dragon form because it looks kind of sick in the cartoon form. And we never.
You do see Fafnir one time as a dragon.
He was laying on top of his.
When he first shows up to the apartment, Toru answers the door, and Fafnir's outside as a dragon. She has to quickly slam the door back shut.
Oh.
And then she leans out and tells him, "Turn into the picture I told you."
I love Fafnir.
So that's the biggest thing that bugged me. Like, there were scenes where they showed how chaotic it can be when the dragons are like playing sports and stuff. They should have just played them as dragons, right?
Maybe. I mean,
would it have been as fun seeing a dragon play, crazy sports versus seeing what you think is like a 6-year-old little girl playing with the strength and fortitude of a dragon?
There is a great scene that we're referring to where they play dodgeball. That's all I'm going to say.
Full contact, high intensity.
High intensity. And the only instruction that they're given by Miss Kobayashi is no killing. So yeah, definitely. That's just a really fun episode, I think. So bingeability, Duck, you gave this a 3.
Yeah, so I wasn't like obsessed, to see the next episode, but I also wasn't upset to watch the next episode. Like some of the shows we've reviewed so far, I've been like, oh god, I don't want. All right, 20 more minutes of this, But this one was pleasant. It was just nice, so I gave it right down the middle score.
Okay. It is what it is. You can enjoy it for what it is, and without it being like that. Because a lot of times when you're binging something, it's like, here's that cliffhanger. What's the next part of the story? Ooh, and Miss Kobayashi just doesn't have that until the very end. Saydar, you give it a 4.
I did, and you touched on it a little bit as to why. For me, it wasn't because of any overarching story, because there isn't one. It was just because this was a really fun, short anime. It was easy to consume. It was easy to enjoy. It wasn't anything that I had to think too much about. It wasn't anything that stressed me out, that I had to know what was coming next. It was just fun and relaxing, and I didn't really want that warm feeling to end. So I found this to be a very easy binge.
All right, so I gave it a 5, and here's my reasoning, because I just really enjoyed it. It was funny. It was a good story without having anything. Let me rephrase. I was gonna say nothing overly sexualized, but there is an aspect. Not enough to draw the ire of Duck. So just bear with me for a moment. But it was humorous. It was funny, and it was mostly clean. Maybe not by American standards, but for the most part, it was a clean show, and I really enjoyed that, and I really did want to keep watching the next episode. So, once you average all of our scores together, the Untitled Anime Show rates the Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid with a score of 3.2 out of 5 flustered cyclewas. And once you watch the show, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll know what a conagasm is. So, not a term they use in the show. But, yeah. But just me saying it, they both got it. Just point that out. So, let me ask you both before we get to where we normally do. Who was your favorite character, Doug?
My favorite character was actually Kana.
Kana is the small dragon who was kicked out by her parents because they want her to, they think her living hard will have her be a stronger dragon as she grows up, and she ends up living with Kobayashi and Toru. Yeah, she's hilarious.
That's wicked.
Kana Kamui, for anybody that's like, the name buffs.
There's scenes that take place with Kana that it's a transition. It'll go to Kana for like 2 minutes, then transition back to the main story. And there's a scene where she's in school, and somebody hands her something. Hey, Kana, look at this. Oh, that's wicked. And then somebody else gives her something. Oh, that's wicked. And Psycho walks up. She's Psycho, you're wicked. And the next thing you know, the teacher walks in, and all the students look like zombies going, that's wicked, that's wicked, yeah. That's wicked. And the teacher's just terrified. Saydar, who was your favorite character?
Well, I really enjoyed Fafnir, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be Toru. I liked Toru's character a lot.
What'd you like about Toru?
Even when things didn't go her way, which was frequent because she was constantly trying to trick Miss Kobayashi into either falling in love with her or eating her tail, she stayed positive, and I really respect that in anyone, including a fictional character.
I really like Toru. I don't think that character would have worked without that voice actress, though. That voice was perfect, and that's the thing with the whole show in general. They did pick the perfect voice actors for each character. I think it's just 100% spot on. But my favorite character was Lukua. And not just because she is the overly sexualized, bouncy character, but because she is so freaking clueless when she's dealing with her human that she's bonded to, and Shota, and just
Shota baby.
Shota baby. and just the ongoing gags with her and Shota are priceless. And if you want a taste of what I'm talking about, just look up Shota Baby, and you will see a hard cut of all the Shota Lukawa scenes, and they are freaking hilarious.
Did you think that she was, unaware of what she was doing to the kid? Like how upset he was getting and flustered?
That's why I liked it.
Oh, I thought she was doing it deliberately just to mess with him.
I think she part of it was she was stupid. But I don't know. I really like.
Well, if you watch the anime, comment below. Let us know. Am I right or is Raz right?
Sorry, I like.
So I wanna put something out there. Maybe it'll help some of the viewers with something that was really confusing for me. Okay, the guy Fafnir lives with. Mm-hmm. The nerdy guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
Is that also the guy that she goes to the bar with?
Yes.
Yes.
Or is that... Okay, that's what I thought, but I was so confused because they're drawn so differently. It's like the guy has a split personality.
It's when he puts the glasses on, things change.
Yeah, okay. So. That's what I was like, wait. Are these the same person or are they not the same person?
He's a very, very stereotypical, this is the anime equivalent of making fun of otaku. And he keeps that part of his personality hidden until he's at home. And you do have a point where he's playing video games with Fafnir, and that's when he lets that side of himself come out, which I think is just funny as hell. So typically, at the end of the show, we decide if we're going to either forget the show ever existed, put it in our queue and get to it when we can, or watch it immediately. Let's start with Duck.
Put it in the queue. You're not going to be disappointed that you watch this.
Okay. Saydar?
The same. Put it in your queue, watch it when you need a laugh.
And I agree. It's not something you need to go out and watch immediately, but it is definitely a show that you want to make sure you watch when you have some free time, because it's a lot of laughs. It's maybe not be 100% totally family friendly, but if you were to watch it first, there certainly is episodes on there that are definitely family appropriate. A couple that aren't, but they aren't over the top. Like I said, we didn't raise the ire of Duck, so apparently it's not be that bad.
I'm not flipping out about it, so it's probably mild.
So thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe to our videos on the YouTube channel, because it means a great deal to us when you do that. And we are coming up on the month of June, and I believe, if everything goes correctly, June is going to be the month of My Hero Academia, where we're going to review the seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the very popular, both in Japan and in the United States, and for that matter worldwide, show that is taking everything by storm. And if you haven't watched it yet, we're going to have a review for each and every season, so you know whether this is something that's going to be worth your time. And I'm going to give you a sneak preview. It probably is.
It's going to be worth your time.
It's going to be worth your time. So thank you very much.
Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra. And have yourself a great week, and avoid the dragon tail at all costs. It looks...
Yeah.
Ugh.